Okay. So part two on like indirect compliments and putting in hope. And I'm going to say that this probably works even if you're lying, but I like the policy of being honest with our kids. So I have said this to my kids when I 100% know it to be true or believe it to be true. I hope you'll do the same. But it's a pretty powerful tool. I think it would work no matter what. But this is how I've used it with my kids: indirect compliments and truth and hope. So when my girls and I talk about dating, you can see my blog about dating in middle school and high school and like pros and cons for them to think it through themselves. When we do that, I've made it clear through my life story and the hundreds of other women I've spoken to that whether or not you date in middle school and high school has pretty much no indication on whether or not you'll date later, get happily married, whatever. Like, people do not have to have dated in middle school or high school to be guaranteed dateable, likable, married. Sometimes it's even the opposite. Anyways, we've gone through that. So, when I'm trying to encourage them that just because boys are not reaching out to you right now, you do not have to be discouraged in any way, shape, or form. In no way is it any kind of evidence that you're not going to have a wonderful time in college. And again, I share my story of how college was just the best time ever. And no one really spoke up before that in my life, but college was great. So I say that, but I don't just end it there. That's kind of like, I don't know, it's just not enough. So I say the next true statement. I say, in fact, not getting boyfriends and dating in college, that's not going to be your problem. What's going to be your problem is learning how to say no, because there's going to be so many guys that want to date you, and you're probably not going to want to date them all. So what we're going to work on instead, over the next year or two, is learning how to say no in a kind way, but also a definite way, because there's going to be so many guys asking you out, you just won't be able to date them all. Might sound extreme or over the top, but for the record, it's actually true. Like, my daughters will most certainly have multiple guys ask them out over time, multiple ones, and many that are just not good enough for my daughters. It's just a true fact, um, based on my life and so many other women I've spoken to over time. Will they get infinite dates in middle school and high school? Probably not. And thank goodness, because we know how enriching those typically are not. But will they get lots of dates down the road? Of course. Um, so just setting that hope in their mind, giving them something else to fixate on, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to say no to all the guys that are going to ask me out? Such a better fixation than, I hope my mom's right, I hope maybe one guy asks me out. Like, leave their mind focused on a positive problem. Advice for tonight. Tips. Hope to talk to you another time.